my name is Phyllis Nash. I am one of the 4 founders as well as your Chief Sales Officer. So guests out there, I'm just going to tell you to put your seatbelts on. And right now, you want to definitely thank the person that invited you. And just by a show of the guests, just put in the chat, who are you the guest of? Who invited you tonight while I'm getting my screen changed? I'm excited to be here. I'm excited for the information you're about to hear. It will absolutely change your life. But before that, let me share exactly who Wakana is, to give you a little background on Wakana. And so, yes, we do consider ourselves the crown jewel of CBD. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to click past this short video to let you know what our vision is. Our vision is we exist to help end the negative stigma that has caused communities around the world to suffer and lose out on the health and wealth benefits of the cannabis plant. And so we are the catalyst. We always knew we were not just a company, but we were a movement that inspires people to confidently move into the legal space as entrepreneurs, formulators, and investors, evoking the courage and strength of people to take back their health, wealth, legacy, and freedom. So here are my other 3 co-founders. We start off with Dr. Rita J. McGuire. She is an over 30-year practicing OB-GYN here in the Chicagoland area, having birthed over 8,000 babies. And she is our chief medical officer and our pillar of health. But besides Dr. Rita being the OB-GYN, she is also an expert in the field of cannabis. That's right. She was called down to the state legislature to testify in front of the legislature board before they legalized adult use marijuana here in Illinois. And then we have Dr. Patricia Van Pelt. She's our president, acting CFO, and our pillar of wealth. Even though she started with humble beginnings, she is qualified to share the techniques that it takes to attain wealth. She is not only an evangelist, but also a 3rd term, soon to be 4th term state senator here in Illinois. And then Melissa Boston, whom you'll hear from a little later on. She is our CEO. She is our visionary, and she is our pillar of legacy. Melissa, I've known her now over 14 years. I saw this young lady, and the day before I met her, she had just fired her boss. You heard me right, fired her boss from a 6-figure corporate America job. She wanted to go into social selling full time, to give her the time freedom to pour into her son and be able to have more time for the things that really are important. As on her journey, she became MVP of 3 companies, building teams in over 46 countries. This young lady not only was the vice president of DARE, Drivers Against Drunk, against drunk drivers. She never even thought she would be a CEO of a cannabis company. But when a friend, a mentor of hers, asked her, and she heard the testimonies, that's what convinced her, the testimonies that were given. And now she is our CEO, taking this company to $1 billion. And myself, I'm Phyllis Nash. I'm your Chief Sales Officer. I am a lifelong entrepreneur. I am known here at Wakana as the midwife. Why? Because I know each and every one of you are pregnant with possibility. And I'm just here to say, push, push. So those are the 4 co-founders of Wakana. Now, this is our medical advisory board. Guys, I am so proud of this board to talk about it. I think this is one of our key selling points. Whenever I share this business with anybody, I let them know that we have doctors, we have chiropractors, which are doctors, we have pharmacists, we have nurse practitioners, psychologists, psychiatrists. Guys, we have nurses, we have all walks of health professionals in our business, headed up by Rita J. McGuire, who are on our medical advisory board. And guess what? Each and every one of them prescribe to their patients the wonderful Wakana products. I'm just so proud of this board, and it keeps getting bigger and bigger. Now, let me just share with you the Farm Bill, and I'm going to get out of the way and bring our CEO up. But I want you to know a little about the journey that we've been on. In 2014, the Farm Bill was to generate and protect research into hemp. Now, in 2018, it turned around and it allowed us to be able to market CBD across the country. CBD is so versatile that you're going to hear it in everything. And one of our goals here at Wakana is that we wanted to make sure our community not only have generational health, but also something way more than wealth is generational health. And we know that here at Wakana, we have a blueprint to make that happen. We just keep evolving. And so I'm going to bring in my segment for right now, because I'm excited about what you're about to hear. And I have a testimony a little later on. But I'm going to bring up that young lady that I said was our visionary, our CEO. And that would be none other than Melissa Boston. Melissa, are you out there?
I am here, Phyllis, and I'm going to keep a very strong connection. So I got to keep my video off. I'm actually in an area where I'm having a little bit of a weak signal, but I am super excited, Phyllis, to be on the line right now. So excited to hear you share Wakana, our vision, our mission. I want to welcome all of our guests to the line. Oh my goodness. I mean, you just heard from the best of the best. You know, she gave all of us a lot of great accolades, but I'm telling you what, Phyllis has broken multiple records across multiple industries, and absolutely she is our mentor, and we just love her so much. And you're going to hear about her exciting journey here with our Flat Belly Lifestyle 2.0. We know that you are here on this Zoom because you're ready to go to that next level. You want to learn more about going plant-based for your blood type. And so I want to welcome each and every one of you to the portion of the Zoom in which we're going to dive right in. In fact, I'm not the only presenter. We're going to bring up Dr. Eric Prince, and we're going to actually bring up our Diamond Dispensary owner, Willie Mooney, to close us out. So we have a jam-packed agenda. In fact, many of you were with us during the original Flat Belly Lifestyle. We introduced an ebook that talked about the most dangerous lectins. It talked about nightshades and our gut health and protecting the microbiome. And we saw so many of you, achieve so much success and lose pounds and inches. In fact, we gave away cash and prizes. We gave away trips to Jamaica, but we have taken it to that next level with our 2.0. And so what I want to do is jump right into that. Before I do so, here's a quick review of what you're going to hear tonight. You've already heard from our amazing and awesome Chief Sales Officer, Phyllis Nash. She gave you the Wakana overview. In fact, we're going to also discuss the lethal effects of our diet. And specifically for those of you on the line who are African American, we're going to talk about the impact of this diet on the African American community. We're going to reveal our 3-step process and 4-pronged approach to bringing health and healing all across the country. You're going to hear testimonials. Yes, we're going to bring up our very own naturopathic Dr. Eric Prince. He's going to do what he does best. He's going to bring that amazing information that I know you're dying to hear right now. And then, of course, we're going to hear from our Diamond Dispensary owner, who's going to give you some marching orders. He's going to let you know how you can take action tonight, how you can actually enroll in many of the options that we're going to discuss tonight. And so let's go ahead and jump into some statistics. We know that here in the United States, we suffer from what they call the big 4: heart disease, cancer, diabetes, and obesity. We know that these are hitting and impacting our community at alarming rates. In fact, when you look at the annual deaths that's impacting us here in this community. We're talking about heart disease, cancer, diabetes, and obesity, and this is the annual deaths of all communities. But let's look more specifically, because we know that oftentimes when you turn on the news, especially for those of you who don't live in Chicago, oftentimes all you hear in Chicago is about the murder rates, right? In fact, the murder rate in 2021 is predicted to top 800 people here in Chicago, Illinois, making it the deadliest year since 1996. But we have some more breaking news, right? Even though the main breaking news story is the Black on Black violence, we know that in our community specifically, right, we do have some more news to share, because if you look at what's happening in this country and the implications of heart disease, do you know that it's killing more than 100,000 African Americans every single year here in the United States, but no one's talking about that. In fact, if we look specifically here in Chicago, Illinois, out of every 100,000 per capita, do you know that 863 of us are dying from heart disease? We disproportionately have the highest mortality rates from heart disease, even here in Chicago, versus all other communities. And that's according to our very own Illinois Department of Health. If you think about heart disease in general, do you know that 48% of African American women and 44% of African American men have some form of heart disease happening right now? Right now, I see there's 60 people on this line. That means that probably close to 47% of us are dealing with some type of heart disease. That's why they call it the silent killer, because for many people, the very first symptom is death. And if we look at other diseases here in the United States, African Americans, do you know that we actually have become disproportionately, right, the share and the cancer burden, right, having the highest death rates and lowest survival rate of any racial or ethnic group for most cancers. And that's according to the American Cancer Society journals. In fact, the National Institute of Health just reported that compared to other races, African Americans are disproportionately impacted by deaths from diabetes. And so, yes, we are the group of people that also we have to take some accountability, because we're the only group of people that as our income increases, our diet stays the same. That means we still eat that same diet from our childhood that was passed on. And here's what I'm going to say. Our parents and grandparents, based on what they knew, they did the best they could, right? Because they had a diet passed on to them and they just passed that on to us. But we're now 150 years removed from slavery, and we've got to break that generational curse and start to create generational health based on conclusive evidence that what we are eating is literally killing us. In fact, I'm going to review real quick a staple in our diet. I mean, you can go into any African American community and you're going to see multiple fast food places, but specifically fried chicken, fried fish, those have become staples in our diet. And when we look at this particular type of food, not only is it dipped in white flour, and we all know the consequences of eating white flour, but it's also fried in fat, which means it's going to increase the calories exponentially, leading to what? Obesity, loaded with antibiotics, and we know the consequences of that, full of pesticides, growth hormones, and then the chickens are being fed genetically modified ingredients. And so when we now start to see, even people that start to make better choices, they say things like, but my chicken is pasture raised, so can I fry my pasture raised chicken? But then you find out that frying food at high temperatures creates trans fats. So even if you're doing everything right, but you can't eliminate the fast food and the fried food, right, in your diet, do you know that there are no safe amounts of trans fats? Trans fats are lethal. They lead to high cholesterol. They lead to chronic heart disease. They lead to premature death from cardiovascular disease. And so when we start identifying these, we have to also bring solutions, because yes, we are suffering the consequences of choices. In fact, when we think about some of the consequences, it creates a higher level of anxiety, depression, and even violent behavior. When you think about the foods they're putting in our community by design, they talk about the violence that's happening in our community. It's by design, because as we feed people food that's really unfit for human consumption, what happens is their brains don't get nourished. For some people, it manifests depression, anxiety. For some people, it becomes bipolar. For some people, it becomes violent behavior. In fact, they've even studied prison systems, and they noticed that when they gave prisoners healthy diets that fed their brain, the violent activity stopped. And so we've got to address this and actually start taking control of what we call our future. And we can do that by empowering our community, because it's also killing our kidneys. When you think about all the dialysis machines and all the dialysis centers in our area, because the food in our community is killing our kidneys. It's destroying our microbiome, our gut health. It's disrupting our hormones. It's impacting our reproductive systems. In fact, when we think about this trans fats, right, and how we're ingesting lethal doses of this at very young ages, we wonder why it is that our children, if they're born after the year 2000, if they're African American or Hispanic, 1 out of 2 of them are going to have diabetes in their lifetime. And so we've got to break these generational curses, but it all starts with empowering our community by giving us the information that we need to make better decisions. Because they talk about bullets, right? They talk about death that's happening, but no one's talking about the silent bullets that are lined up on your grocery shelf. No one talks about the silent bullets that are lined up throughout our community inside of all of these fast food restaurants that are literally killing us at epidemic rates. In fact, and then we come now to trying to digest this food, and we realize the average person is walking around with at least 8 undigested meals in their gut. But if that's the average person, can you imagine what's happening in our community? Because whatever the averages are, we're always much higher than that. And so we've got to take back our life, but we also have to go forth with this with new information, because we know that what we've learned in the past doesn't always help us lead us to the right direction. So with our approach, what we've also recognized is one man's food could be another man's poison. We want to help you to also know that there's certain foods that you've been eating that are toxic to your blood type. So whether you're blood type A, blood type B, blood type O, it's very important for you to understand the role of food. And sometimes the food you've been told is the healthiest might very well be one of the culprits that's leading to the premature issues that you're experiencing. So let's say you're on the line right now and you're a blood type A. Take a look at just some of the foods that are toxic to a blood type A, whether it's beef, catfish, crab, lobster, pork, scallop, shrimp, tomatoes, bananas, black olives, cabbage, and more. And you're probably sitting here thinking, wow, some of those are the staples that you eat every day. If you're a blood type B, I want you to think about food like chicken, right? Crab. In fact, blood type B can actually have a little bit of beef, but it's mainly the chicken, right, that's really destroying our blood type B. The crab, the lobster, the pork, the shrimp, the black beans, the avocado, the pinto beans, and so much more. Blood type O, it's the catfish, right? The dairy, octopus, squid. You might think, I don't even eat octopus. Well, that's because with the blood type O, most proteins aren't toxic, but it doesn't necessarily mean you need to eat all this excess meat. But that's just giving you an example of some of the foods that are actually toxic to different types of blood types. In fact, with the blood type O, you notice things like avocado and cauliflower and cucumbers and plantains and white wine. And if you're blood type O and you've enjoyed those foods your whole life, you might now understand why you're experiencing the things you're going through. But no worries. We're going to also empower you and let you know the foods you can eat, because what you eat and drink, your body's going to ultimately determine whether these substances are friends of the body or foe of the body. And here's the danger of incompatible choices. See, all food has protein, and protein has something called lectins, right? And lectins are actually certain type of anti-nutrients that work better for some blood types than others, depending on the type of food. And do you know that these actual lectins, if it's incompatible, it's going to target areas of your body like your kidneys, your liver, your brain, your stomach. And so we want to avoid those lectins that are not good for our blood type, because once they settle together, once they clump together, once this happens, the immune system starts to target them as if they are foreign invaders, okay? And it can actually create violent levels of inflammation. So if you've ever been told you're dealing with inflammation, this can lead to irritable bowel syndrome, cirrhosis of the liver. It can block the flow of blood through your kidneys. So now that we've looked at some of the problems that are happening, it's important for us to identify the solution. And the good news, and yes, we are here tonight to share the good news, because there's some great news. And that's why we wanted to bring to you the Flat Belly Lifestyle 2.0, plant-based for your blood type. It's simple to join, and we invite you to take the pledge. In fact, we want you to live the best life possible. We want your kids and future generations to experience the best life possible, because we look at these two women who are both over 80 years old now, and it's our daily choices that determine what your future will unfold. And so we can choose tonight to adopt simple dietary changes, right? Simple improvements in our sleep schedules, taking probiotics, exercising. See, all of this can reduce our biological age by 3 years in just 8 weeks, according to a new study. And so we've created a 3-step process, okay? Step 1 is getting your blood type. You want to get your blood type. You want to make sure you know your kid's blood type, your parents' blood type, the people in your family. It's very critical that you understand your blood type. And then we're going to present to you a grocery list that you can utilize to make sure you're shopping according to your blood type. Step 2 is you want to get a scan. In fact, our doctor tonight is going to explain the process of how the scan works. He's going to talk about some amazing products that can help you improve those numbers, an amazing program, right? An amazing way of eating for 21 days that can help, really restore a lot of the issues, right, that we've been going through. And then step 3, of course, is embracing our Flat Belly Lifestyle 2.0. And so this is our 3-step process that we've put together to really help address the issues that we're going through. And once you start on this 3-step process, the next thing you're going to want to do is also look at specific things within the process so that you can also understand how you can best navigate that. And so one of the things we've done is we've introduced this concept called the scan. We know that inflammation is the silent killer. We know it's the fire within. And so we have an amazing scan. It takes literally less than 15 minutes. In fact, the scan itself takes probably less than a minute, but the consultation is about 15 minutes. We're doing these free of charge in the Chicagoland area. And then we're going to take this concept all around the country. You can actually make an appointment to come here to Chicago so that we can help you understand where you're at. Your goal is to have green areas, which means things are functioning normal, but it's going to let you know where you're slightly abnormal. It's going to let you know where you're moderately abnormal. And then it's going to let you know where you're severely abnormal. So it's very critical that you follow the process and get the scan for those who are able to do that, or just wait until it hits a city near you. And so once you've done that, then what we've done is we've identified a 4-pronged approach to healing. And that 4-pronged approach is where we offer emotional support. It's very important that people also recognize that emotional trauma contributes to so much of the issues we go through, whether it's heart disease, cancer. Oftentimes, it's unresolved emotional trauma. Plant-based therapy. So yes, we provide a food grocery list. We provide recipes, things that you need to really turn things around. We also encourage meditation and exercise. See, these are all a part of a healthy system and a part of our 4-pronged approach to healing. But our 4th approach is our supplements. And that's where we introduce 2 options Either you can go with our phase 1 and phase 2 options. For those who aren't ready to jump all the way in, we have what we call a flat belly bundle. And for those of you who are ready to go all in for 21 days, we have our flat belly cleanse. And so those are the 4 areas in which we help you through this approach that we've put together. We also want to encourage you to join us on Facebook. In fact, that's our QR code for the group. When you scan that, it's going to take you to our Facebook group page, because it's important for you to get the coaching and the support that you need to take this to that next level. And of course, you want to go online to flatbellylifestyle.com. You want to go ahead and register so that you can win cash and prizes and trips. We want to give you incentives so that it can really help encourage you to work with your sister, your brother, to really make this a community effort where you can get healthier together. And so, yes, we provided the groceries. And so on this list, it's a neutral list, but if you see an area in red, you want to look to see if your blood type should avoid that. So it's very critical that you go online and you download our full grocery list. Coming soon are our hundreds of recipes, okay? We're super excited because we have prepared literally hundreds of recipes to make this fun and simple. In fact, our official challenge launches on January the 2nd. We're calling it the Pledge. And when you launch, that you're going to actually be provided, at the end of the year, our full grocery list with all of the recipes as well. So we're super excited. And so what you're going to do is you're going to make a decision. And your decision will be, do I want to do phase 1, phase 2, or phase 3? For those of you who do phase 1, what's exciting for those who are just not ready to go all in, it's going to give you lots of options. You're going to find phase 1, it's going to be simple to do. It's going to be fun, and the meals are absolutely delicious. You're going to find that you're going to shed inches and pounds. But for those of you who want to go beyond just small improvements in your health, if you want to have more dramatic improvements in your health, you want to go to phase 2 or all the way to the top, which is phase 3. And what we've done is we have supplements that are designed to support each phase depending on where you're at. In fact, if you decide that you're going to do phase 1 and phase 2, then you're going to want to buy the flat belly bundle, because those are the supporting products for those specific phases. But if you decide that you want to go all in, and these are just some of the testimonials for those who did our phase 1 and 2, so you can see, and actually they all did phase 1. So in phase 1, again, you can have dramatic results, you can burn belly fat, but if you really want that health to go to the next level, we really encourage you to jump all the way to phase 3, okay? Phase 3 is really where you're going to get maximum healing. It's a 21-day process. You're going on raw diet where you're going to have raw fruits and vegetables. And don't worry, when we say raw, there are some exciting options. In fact, you're going to hear a live testimonial from a few of the people that are actually in that raw phase now, or some of them have actually completed it already. And so with our phase 3, we've introduced 3 amazing products, okay? We have our eliminator that's going to get rid of the mucus and parasites. We have our purifier, which is going to really help to clean out the body, clean out the colon. And then our regenerator that's going to really help to revitalize your cells. And so those are the 3 products that are included in our phase 3 process. And so let's look at some of the results. And so here is our first testimonial that we're going to bring up. She is our very own Chief Sales Officer, always leading from the front. She was the first to jump on board with this, to say, hey, yes, sign me up. I want to do it, and I want to be the first. And so we are just super proud of you, Phyllis, for what you've done, the example that you have set. And we want you to share your results with everyone.
Well, I'm excited to have been a part of this, but I did start on phase 1, and I didn't take it real serious, Melissa, but I did do it. I completed it. But then when I started phase 2, that was back in August, I immediately lost 8 pounds. And we took the scan in October, and myself and Lewis, who is my partner, and we had some issues that we wanted to really deal with. We didn't want to wait till the holidays. We wanted to just get in there and get started. And we knew that we were going to be doing the 21-day raw cleanse during Thanksgiving. But by us doing it together, that made life so much easier because we were there to support one another. We really got some great benefits. We got through the program, and like, the first few days detoxing, I've done that before, so I knew the first few days might not be the most comfortable, but I knew after that you were gonna feel great, look great, skin starts changing on you. You just feel brighter, you feel better. And the juicing that we did just really invigorated our bodies every day. Halfway through, though, I got challenged because I just wanted to do something else. You're eating, you wanted warm food or hot food, and raw is not hot. So you're going to eat room temperature or cold food most of the times when you're eating salads. But I can really say for one thing that I never was hungry and I never was craving. Just mentally, I wanted to do something else. But what happened was almost at the close of and then the support from one another. So even if it wasn't Lewis, and I'm glad it was because we live here in the same house, so that was the best of both worlds. Neither one of us were tempting, one another. I knew that if I failed, I was failing for us. He knew if he failed, he was failing for us. So we were committed to not cheat one time to get through this for the benefits that we were going to get. And what happened, and what I was so more than excited about, I mean, the weight loss is good, y'all, but I'm getting older. And so for me, having quality health, not being bent over, building muscle mass, having my right mind, all of those things now come before cosmetics. So I wasn't even all hooked up about the cosmetics until last week when I did the picture, and I really saw the difference. But what blew me away was my 2 days before we ended the cleanse, I went and had my lab work done. My cholesterol dropped 50 points. My blood pressure was stabilized, hadn't been that way since maybe my late 30s, early 40s. Now that's what blew me away. That's what got me excited. And that's what's keeping us committed to this. Now, I'm not totally plant-based. I didn't say, but for me, I haven't eaten meat but once since I came off, and we'll be off in 2 weeks, but I am so much better. And my point, and the way I am able to do things, is taking a bite of that elephant one bite at a time. And so doing that, I have lost now over 16 pounds, at least 7 inches all over my body. I have not had a size pair of jeans that I had on, and I don't know when. I've not ever been really, really big, but I didn't know how big I was compared to what I look like now. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to being better. I'm working out. I went out, and I will definitely, guys, you are my age. I'm 66. So I'm just telling you things we need to do to take care of ourselves. We not only need to eat right, but we need to be stretching, and we need to be exercising, because it don't take us long to sit down and get stiff. So I'm telling you, use this and take your health to a whole nother level. And I'm so glad this group is here so that we can all support one another. Back to you, Melissa.
Wow, 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 Phyllis. And that is just so inspiring. Ladies, do you hear this? I mean, even gentlemen, do you hear this? I mean, we want to not even.
Yeah, Lewis's results were great too. He really got some benefits. So yes.
That is next level. So that is awesome and amazing. So what we want to do real quick, guys, we're going to actually bring up our phenomenal naturopath who's going to really kind of break down really how Phyllis was able to achieve that, and just share with you some of the science on why this program works. In fact, everyone that we're turning on to this program, Phyllis, we're seeing these amazing results we've never seen before with any other program. And so we know that this is revolutionary. We know that it is cutting edge. And we know that it is so exciting that we are the company chosen to bring this to the world, alongside with our amazing Dr. Eric, who is our naturopathic doctor. And so with that being said, not only is he involved in emergency medicine, He's someone who's actually broken some Olympic records. I mean, he's just inspiring. He's in his 50s and he's absolutely reversed his age by decades. And he's helping us to do the exact same thing. So Dr. Eric, I know you're so excited. I know Gigi and Tariq also want to come up and share, but I want you to go ahead and take over at this time so that you can really talk about why we're having these phenomenal results.
Exactly. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. I do want to thank you, Melissa, for bringing me in. I thank you for the wonderful introduction. I thank you, Phyllis, for being a wonderful testimony. And also, I thank Lewis for being a wonderful testimony. When I talked to Lewis, he was like a child. He was so excited because something new had happened in his life that he never expected would ever happen again. And that's what makes me do what I do, because it brings people into such a happy, joyful state. And when you're in a joyful state, your body is in a healing state. And that's the whole purpose of it. When you're in a stress mentality, your body is going to cause disease because you're weakening your immune system. And so most of us are actually dealing with suffering, where we become accustomed to suffering because we don't know how to eradicate it other than going through pharmaceutical medicine. And obviously that doesn't do anything but make it worse. Now we need to start addressing the underlying issues in our body. And until now, we didn't have the information or the technology that allows us to see into our bodies at the cellular level, because we need to know what's going on in the cells, what in the cell is going on in our body. Once you know what's going on in the cells, then you understand what's happening in the tissue, then you understand what the organ is doing. And the organ sends off signals and alarms. And you know what we call those alarms? Signs and symptoms. And so I guess the best analogy I can give you is there's a building on fire. God forbid it's any of our buildings. But someone pulls the fire alarm. Fire department comes, lights and sirens down the street, get to the building. They see it's on fire. They take all their equipment in. They look around and they find the alarm. And they cut the alarm off. Then they leave the building and they go back to the firehouse, having never touched the fire. In other words, when we just deal with pharmaceutical drugs, we're only cutting the alarm off. We're not dealing with the fire. Biofeedback technology is a way to understand what's going on in the building that caused the fire, that triggered the alarms. And so this information has been out since the 80s. I know it seems like it's new, but it's not new. It's just been kept from you. Why? Because when we're dealing in Western medicine, and no disrespect to any of our medical doctors out there, because they're part of a strong system that supported us until we knew more. Now we know a little bit more about our health. So now we need to address our health at the level of causality, not just symptomology. We did as much as we can with the symptoms, but now that hasn't worked for us to this point. The bioscan that Phyllis took showed her what was going on in her body, in her organs, in her liver, her kidneys. It even showed us where her deficiencies were. And once we knew that, it was easy, because now we were able to construct a regimen based upon information that we know, not guessing. So there's no guesswork in this whole process. So by us knowing exactly what's going on in her body, what's going on in her lungs and her kidneys, we are able to correspond the right herbs, the right supplements with those organs, because every organ corresponds to different herbs, and there are many different herbs that correspond to many different organs. And so this is natural medicine. And that's what this is about, alternative natural medicine. And so we're going back to the plant medicine. Plant medicine should never have been taken off the table, but unfortunately it was taken off the table back in the early 1900s. But we're not going to worry about that now. Our goal now is to start to re-engage, reconnect with nature, reconnect with plants. That's why CBD, the cannabis plant, that's why it's such a big thing now. Now it's such a craze going around the country that this plant is such a medicinal plant. Well, I've been working with plants for over 10 years now, and I've been scanning people for over 10 years now. And what I've seen is exactly what Melissa said. Everyone is moving towards heart disease. Not a few people, and it may not have been an initial complaint. it may not have been an initial issue, and you may not even have it in the family. But I tell you, based upon the scan, based upon the patterns that I've seen, we were all moving towards heart disease. We were all moving towards cancer, because over 150 diseases are linked to oxygen deficiency, which comes from toxins, and also toxicity in the body, which is a low pH in the body. That's why when you start taking certain fruits and vegetables in your regimen, it's an alkaline regimen. We put Phyllis on an alkaline regimen that was shifting her pH from acid to alkaline. A lot of us don't know that the more acidic your body is, the more your body will leach and pull calcium and potassium out. Now, potassium corresponds with contraction and heart cardiac output. So we don't want to decrease our potassium, because that's going to affect our heart pumping action. But when we talk about our calcium, we're talking about developing osteoporosis. That means that as we get older, our bones start to get weak, our density starts to decrease, and we become more prone to fractures. But now people can see that where their pH is and how to correct that. You don't have to go into old age with osteoporosis. Actually, you can reverse osteoporosis. But in order to do it, you have to shift your pH from acid to alkaline. And the question is, why is our pH acid? Because of the diet, because of the meat that we've been eating all our life. See, before man was eating meat, our bodies were more alkaline. That's why we lived to be 600 and 700 years old, because we had a more alkaline body. But as soon as meat came on the table, as soon as we started consuming animals, our lifespan began to shorten. And that's the evidence. That's in the book. So success is scientific. And so when you understand the science of things and you understand the patterns of how it works, then you can correct any issue, whether it be heart disease, diabetes, multiple sclerosis, lupus. It doesn't matter. You can reverse anything. There's nothing final in the body unless you believe it. It's all about your belief now. So now we have to engage the mind in the healing process, because if we don't engage the mind, we won't have a complete healing. Your mind is the operant power in your healing process. That's why the placebo effect is so powerful, because it shows us that if I'm just given a sugar pill and I believe that it works, and it actually works, then it wasn't the pill at all. It was my mind and my belief system. So this is where we engage. This is the divinity and the divine nature of this process, because when you sit down and you do that scan, and I know many of you have not done it yet or would like to do it, and that's what we're doing. We're working to get that scan in multiple cities to multiple people. We're scanning people every week, tons of people every week, because this is a powerful movement that's going to help people to finally identify what's going on in their body before the crisis happens. Imagine that. We are all waiting patiently on the crisis to show up. We didn't know it. I mean, nobody wants to wait on a crisis, but we didn't realize until now that the crisis was progressing at a certain pace. Everybody's progressing towards the crisis at some pace. Some people are moving faster than others, but nonetheless, based upon the bioscan, based upon the thousands of scans that I've done over the 10 years, everyone is moving towards it. And during the time that we're progressing towards the crisis, we're not sick, we're not ill, we're not feeling bad, which is why we don't even understand that that's exactly what's happening to our body. And so that's why it's important now to know exactly what's going on in your body right now, so that you won't have to wait until it shows up and now you're calling 911. Now you're trying to deal with an emergency. Well, that emergency was not sudden. That emergency was not sudden. Nothing happened suddenly. Nothing happens suddenly, which means that that crisis was progressing over years. And I'm not talking about 10 years. I'm talking about 20, 30 years, depending on how long you've been on the planet. And once you see the scan, what you're going to notice is that these things have been going on in your body for a long time. Now, with the products that we have on the table, with the program that we have on the table, once you know what's going on in your body, now you have the ability to start to address it through the 3-week process. And that's why we have initially introduced three products. And this is 3 of many that's going to show up. That's going to be all plant medicine. It's going to be a whole plant-based medicine line that's going to be introduced through Wakanda to everyone. So you'll have any type of plant medicine that's compatible with your body, and there are no side effects. There's nothing that's going to harm you. These are all plant-based medicine that's going to help to heal the body, that's going to help eradicate the condition, and it's going to also bring you back into full and perfect balance. Now, the final result is, you're going to start feeling young again. You're going to start feeling like you're back in your prime. It's the reason why at the age of 52, I'm able to run college track and field, because I proved that you can reverse your biological age. This is stuff that we never knew. This is stuff that we were never taught, because our grandmothers and grandfathers didn't know this information. They didn't know about blood type. They knew about blood type, but they didn't really know the significance of blood type as it pertains to the food that you're eating. But now that we know this information, we have to start the correction, because we've lost too many people to ignorance, and we don't have to keep losing people. So I tell you, if you're on the call and you have people that you care about and you love, bring them on this call so that we can work this out, because it's a life-saving process. I've saved so many lives in the past. I was saving lives in the 90s, but I was saving lives in the emergency medicine and a medical situation. That was a different type of scene right there. That was a scene where I was dealing with cardiac arrest, and I was working to try to save a life, to get a pulse back, to get them breathing again. That's a different type of save, because even if I did get their pulse back, got them to the hospital, got them stabilized, when they left that hospital, what are they going to do? They're going back to the very thing that caused the emergency in the first place. So there was no fulfillment in that. Now there's great fulfillment, because now we have the opportunity to reverse our whole health and reverse our own age. And we're going from crisis management to disease prevention. Crisis management to disease prevention. We were born into a crisis care system. And at some point, we're going to have them rename the system crisis care, not health care, crisis care. Because, and I'm not doing that as a joke or anything, I'm just saying that if people understand that this system, this healthcare system, is a crisis care system, then we will understand that we don't want to be involved in managing our crisis. We want to be living in a state called disease prevention. What we're doing now is healthcare, because if you think about it, what is the root word of health? Heal. We're healing the body in this plant-based process. We're healing the body. We're not managing a crisis. We're preventing a crisis. And if we prevent the crisis and we begin to set up a life around maintaining that health, then you'll never see a crisis. All you will see is long life, joy, quality, happiness, prosperity. And I sit here because behind me you see Sojourner Truth. Sojourner Truth. This is actually a school I went to when I was young. I went to a grammar school called Sojourner Truth over in Cabrini Green Housing Projects. So it's just an indication of where I came from. Because when I was in the projects, my life expectancy was not long. I made it out of there by the grace of God because I was called. I was called, and it says, for those who are called, who he did foreknow, he also predestined. And so that's where we are now. And this strong woman, Sojourner Truth, represents the women that are part of Wakanda. It represents the continuation of the strength that we need as a country in order to make the changes that we need for our people. And so we have to carry that on. We can't forget what she did back in the 1700s. She's been around for a minute, but she was a strong woman back then. And she probably didn't have as much support as we have right now. So we have the ability to create a revolution that will heal our people. And we can't rely upon the politicians. They have their work to do, but they're not experts in this field. We now have the ability and the power to get our health back in order. We now have the ability to help our loved ones. I was reading something, Dr. Rita. Yeah, we have the ability to help our loved one now. We don't have to be helpless anymore. Isn't that great? We don't have to be helpless. If there's anyone out there that's dealing with anything, then it can be eradicated. If there's anyone in your family that's dealing with anything, bring them to the fold of what we're doing. Take them through the 21-day cleanse, turn it around. And yeah, I'm not saying that everyone goes plant-based after the cleanse. No, majority don't. but it begins the process of how to eat. You start eating better. And as you continue cleansing, guess what? You start losing the desire for certain foods. So at some point within the next 3 to 5 years, yeah, you will be all plant-based, but you're not forcing yourself to go plant-based. What you're doing is you're beginning to modify and correct things that you never knew so that your health and your immune system can get stronger. And in that state, you won't have to worry about any viruses. You won't have to worry about sickness, illness. And if you did for some reason get exposed, it will only be mild symptoms, not moderate, not severe, but mild. And so this is an important process, and I want to thank you guys for bringing me in. I'm going to open it up for questions to anyone that has any right now.
And Eric, I know Gigi and Tariq wanted to share tonight. They were so touched by everything that's been happening, and they have some awesome testimonials. Amazing job. But just before you guys transition, I want to make sure if you can bring up Gigi, Eric, and bring up Tariq.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, come on. Gigi, who wants to go first, Tariq or Gigi?
Okay, I'll go first. All right. I just want to say that I really, really am grateful to Wakana and the founders, and also to Dr. Prince, because I'm that individual that thought that I was doing everything I need to do to be healthy until I got to Chicago and met Dr. Prince. I had been having some pain in my left toe, and it was paining me pretty bad for a couple of weeks, off and on. But when I got to Chicago, I was shocked that I was a type B. And that meant that I could not have chicken, shrimp, crabs, any of those things that I've been raised on. I am from Florida, the coast, so you couldn't miss me with seafood. But I tell you, when I sat down and did that scan with Dr. Prince, and he gave me the results of what my blood cells were showing. And it was showing that I was headed toward gout because my uric acid levels was up. And I tell you, he didn't have to convince me, because I knew a lot of what he was saying was truth about his philosophy and his methodology and what he's teaching us. I dropped that chicken like a hot potato. And from the time I left the first weekend of November in Chicago, I have not been back to the chicken, fish, shrimp, anything. And I have not had a pain in my toe at all. So I want to thank you that I was able to head off gout. Okay. Yeah. And there's some other things that I may be headed toward, but not now, because you have come into our lives to help us to correct some of those things. So far, I'm on my last week of the cleanse, and it has been an amazing ride. Okay, my first couple of days, I had a little bit of headache. Was feeling a little tired, but I got over that. I guess that was expected because of what I was doing, going through the process. And since then, going through these weeks, I had lost 10 pounds with the flat belly 1.0. But since I've been on this regimen with the 21 days, I have lost an additional 10 pounds. And I can tell you, the weight that I am right now, I have not been this weight in 15 years, because I was able to get rid of the waist, as Dr. Prince would say, not the weight, but the waist that was hanging on to me. And I have been able to pretty much come out of a size 6 pants, okay? Yeah. In these last couple of days, a size 6 pants I was in. I'm still in them, but they are loosening up. This weekend I bought a sweater. I picked up a medium. I put the medium on when I got home. I didn't put it on in the shop, and I found myself having to take that sweater back because it's too big. It's too big. I mean, a size medium is too big for me now. So, I have, Melissa knows too, that one of my goals is to be able to to wear a crop top.
Oh,
The
snap.
crop top is on its way. It's on its way. I just want to say thank you so much, Jill Wakana, for all that you all are doing for our community. And I want to thank you, Dr. Prince, for being a part of what we're doing. And I'm not hungry. I still have energy. And I talked with Melissa yesterday, and I told her that I am trying to make up my mind to continue to do the raw for another 2 or 3 weeks until I can reach my goals. Okay. So thank you so much for letting me talk, Melissa. Appreciate you. Hey, God bless all of us. And thank you so much, Dr. Prince.
Thank you. Thank you. And that was great. That was a great testimony. I hadn't talked to you in a minute, but that's wonderful to know. And that's what it's all about. The fact that we was able to head off gout is what it's all about. Because if you had never done the scan, you would never really known what was going on, and you would have started to lean the ladder against the wrong wall, or you went to the medical doctor. Of course, they would have treated it, but it wouldn't have been a complete treatment because obviously you wouldn't address it at the level of causality. And so now that you understand what's going on, you now have your health back in your own hands. Nobody can take this away from you ever again, because this is a process that the more you do it, the healthier you get. And then once you're back in your prime, you never stop doing it. I cleanse every year. For the past 10 years, I've cleansed at least once or twice a year, just so I can stay healthy, just so I can go to the colleges at the age. So I started going to the colleges at the age of 41. And I was competing with these kids. And I don't know what gave me the courage to do it, but I felt that my body was back in its prime state. And true enough, it was, because I started winning my races at University of Illinois, which was the school I went to, University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. I started winning the 400 meters. I started winning the indoor 200 meters. And that was amazing because I never thought that was even possible. But once I realized that my body was back in the same state that it was when I was in my 20s, it didn't matter how old I was chronologically, because once I started cleansing and detoxifying my body, I removed all the waste that accumulates year after year after year, and your body doesn't know where to put it. So it stuffs it in fat tissue, it stuffs it into the joints, stuffs it into the feet, stuffs it into the butt, and we just hold on to it and we just let it live there. So when we talk about losing weight, we really say losing waste. You want to get all that waste out. You don't need that waste. It's okay to go back to your younger self. I think some people are afraid to go back to being that younger version of them. I ask people, they say, I don't want to be that small anymore. I mean, why? Why not want to be that small? We was okay when we was younger running around like that. But, sometimes women want to keep those curves, and I understand. Nothing wrong with keeping curves, but once you lean out, you can start working out and you can start getting that Angela Bassett look. You know what I'm saying? All right. So Tariq, are you out there, man? You got some good words for us?
Yes, sir, I do. How you doing?
All right. How you look? Oh man, you looking all sharp over there.
Thank you.
So how'd everything go?
It's wonderful. I'm on day 15, me and my wife, and she's actually at work right now. She has a testimony that's pretty phenomenal herself. But for me, I'd like to just say one thing I've dealt with that I kind of just got used to having was my eczema on my fingers and whatnot. And it's just crazy. I would say about maybe 5 or 6 days into it, the eczema started getting a little bit better. I wasn't applying any of the cream I was getting from the dermatologist, and now you can almost hardly even see it. I can't even hardly feel it. And then the weight loss, that's been definitely a plus side, but I'm looking more of like longevity. So even when I'm done with the cleanse, I plan on staying plant-based, at least until I get to a super healthy weight, and then maybe I'll do lamb or something every now and then. But I have no desire to bring meat back into my regimen. Even my kids, they're embracing the lifestyle, not the raw, but I mean the plant-based foods and whatnot. They're really loving it. My daughter, like, she loves animals, so the idea of eating meat never even sat right with her. So she's all into it. And so I'm grateful to even have had the opportunity and had you guys have all the knowledge that you have to even put that out here to where we can access this type of care, healthcare, as you say. So yeah. Now my wife has lost about 7 pounds And myself, I think I've lost 18 pounds in the last 15 days.
18, good Lord. You have been rolling. I can tell, even looking at you.
But we've been working out too.
Right. So. And that's why I tell people, during the cleanse, you don't have to do a boot camp when you're cleansing. All you have to do is get your walk on and get that heart rate up, something 30 to 45 minutes, nothing strenuous, because that way you can still increase the heart rate and it'll help you to eliminate the waste faster, but it'll also help to get the nutrients to your tissues and cells quicker, right? And the fact that the eczema is starting to go away, that's the evidence. Your skin is always a reflection of what's going on inside the body. And I know that because when I broke out with eczema all over my body, I was juicing. I didn't go to the hospital. I didn't go to the ER. I just juiced for 3 weeks until it went away. And I've never had an issue with eczema ever since, because of course I stayed plant-based. All the meat in your system was trying to come out, and it was using your skin as that. So even if you did put topical stuff on there, it'll go away for a minute, but at some point it comes right back. And so now you have the ability to have perfect skin. Beauty, true beauty comes from the inside out, not the outside in. A lot of times we want to put beauty on from the outside in, but I'm gonna tell you, once you start doing the cleanse, the most beautiful version of yourself will shine so bright that you'll be in love with yourself all over again.
It's amazing.
Thank you, Terry.
Thank you. Even my personal trainer was like, he's like, I don't know what's going on with this nose. So we took the weights out when we doing body workouts, but he's like, this new bursting energy y'all got, I don't know what's going on with it, but I'm gonna work it. I'm gonna take it.
Wow. And Dr. Eric, too, before you bring up Willie to close us out, Ma Mitchell just finished the challenge, she says. So you might want to bring her up, because she Ma Mitchell, she's out there.
she's been promoting all through. I've been watching her all through Facebook, so I know she has a testimony. Where you at, Ma?
Here I am.
Come on, let us in. You've been working over there, girl.
Oh, yes.
You looking younger.
Oh, well, thank you. But baby, I feel younger. I tell you, I'm turning back that biological clock.
That's what I'm saying.
And my husband and I both, we are not kidding, and we are not joking around. But we just finished yesterday, the 21-day cleanse, and it was a challenge. Yeah. But as Phyllis talked about, we had already done the flat belly, the first two sessions of the flat belly. Mm-hmm. So it made it a bit easier. And exactly. I had already stopped eating meat 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I stopped eating red meat about 15 years ago. And my situation was that I was diagnosed with diabetes 25 years ago. Mm-hmm. And so no matter all the things that I did, nothing seemed to, even the CBD, it helped to bring it down and to get it in, regulated to some degree. And my doctor said, oh, you're managing diabetes well, but it was more where I don't want to just manage diabetes. I want to eradicate it. I want it gone.
Exactly.
And so when you told us when we start, that we would stop our medication, well, I was like, okay, I'm gonna see. And we did it. My husband's doctor did completely stop. He's on 2 high blood pressure medications. She stopped one completely. His primary care physician, because his blood pressure was going really low, and we were just amazed. And I had to stop the metformin that I've been taking for I don't know how many years. I have not taken any since December 1st. And my glucose levels, when I scan, it has been regulated with my system. And I know that because from what you told me, I had a fatty liver and my pancreas wasn't working properly. So it had to be cleaned. And I just want to share with everybody what came to me. I believe in the Holy Spirit. And what came to me, all the things that I was doing, I had lost weight. I had, started correcting my eating, by not eating the meat and things like that, but it still would not change. And then I understood from what you told me that my cells were not clean. And so the things that I was doing, the cells would not receive them. And the God gave me the message of we can't put new wine into old wine skins. And so that just hit me. That just hit me. And I said, that's the answer. And now, hey, baby, I'm off. I am off the medication. I didn't lose that much weight, and I don't care because I lost about 4 pounds. And, but I have been losing all the way. I've lost a total of about 20 pounds over the whole thing since I started in April. So it's been about 20 pounds. And my husband has lost 10 pounds. And I mean, putting on clothes that he has not worn in years. and he's looking good, y'all. And as Phyllis said, it's so nice to work with a partner.
Yes, I is.
So we are just loving this. We are just loving.
No, I just want to say this. The most fantastic thing is that Hermit's thing kind of got me. Reaction kind of got me.
Yeah, Herxheimer.
The Herxheimer after about the third day, but after that, I've been doing great, and I had bought a suit coat that I was never really able to fit, and I've actually lost 1 pant size. You know, I went from a 36 to a 34 comfortably, and you see, I had put suspenders on
to hold his pants up.
You know, and so I'm very excited about it because this coat, every time I put it on, I could not button it. And this morning I just put it on. I was like, wait a minute, you know. And so I went to church jazzed up. And the other thing I want to talk to you about, but I'll send you a message about that later.
Okay.
Is when do we rescan?
Yeah.
And what's the next step?
Yeah, what's the next step? But I will never go back, Dr. Prince. And I am so grateful to Melissa and Wakana and to you. I am grateful. And I just thank God for you all. I really, and I am sharing this with everybody. And also, I just want to let you all know, I will be 70 years old in February, and my husband is currently 70. And we walked 8 miles on Friday. And so we're exercising. Yes, we're walking, and we ran some of the way. I remember my husband was telling you, Dr. Prince, that he used to sprint when he was in high school, yes. And so, hey, look, he's been running. Do you hear me? This man would have had 3 surgeries on his feet, and he has been running. And we, like I said, we were running on Friday. So I'm not going to prolong the time, but I'm just excited, you guys. I am excited. I tell anybody, we got to do this. We got to share this because it works. It does.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
That was a wonderful testimony. And yeah, I'm going to follow up with you guys because one of the things we do is we do send out a post regimen. You know, a post regimen just gives you a little bit of information of how to continue through into your new life. Yeah, you may want to go back to eating certain things, and that's okay. But like you said, some people are going to let it all go. They don't want no more of that old diet. You know, some people are still going to hold on to it. Some people still are going to struggle with trying to let go of that meat. I know it's an addiction. It is an addiction. And this process is about breaking that addiction, because if you can break that addiction, you can break the cycle of death. And that's what it's all about. We have to break that cycle because it's happening to our children faster. So if we don't start now doing something to reverse that process, then we will be, I don't know if you remember the movie Children of Men. Children of Men was a movie where it was about this society where no one can have children anymore. Infertility, it was total infertility throughout the world. And if we keep on going at the pace we are, we will be at that place where we will be infertile and we won't be able to have children anymore, our younger kids. And so we don't want that type of society. So we at Wakana have to take on the responsibility. And this is a big responsibility. We have to change the world. We can't look to nobody else but us. We have to do it right here, because guess what? We now have what we need in order to make that happen. You know, I think Phyllis said, making this $1 billion company. No, it's going to hit the trillions. Mark my word, because once everyone hears what's going on here, everyone has to come from all over. and it's going to grow so exponentially that we're going to have generational health and generational wealth. What more do we need? All right. Mooney, where you at, man?
All right. Wow. So amazing, so amazing. I see my frat brother smiling. Y'all give Eric a round, Dr. Eric Prince, a round of applause. Well, you've heard such amazing testimonies. I mean, some people really have hit the ground floor running, right? I mean, you
6 more left before you have to wait for
I didn't want to tell them like that, but you just did. There are 6 packages left, right, that can ship out as early as tomorrow morning, or I think I saw Eric in the dispensary. So that means somebody is there tonight. 6 more packages. And what's going to happen?
If they do phase 1 and 2, we have unlimited amount of those.
Unlimited
guys.
amount for phase 1 and 2.
3 was our new product. So
all right. So this is getting hot. So I know those are going to fly off the shelf, those last 6 packages, but not to fret, you all. We're in preparation. Eric's going to be churning. Y'all seen the pictures on Facebook where he's blending and churning, and there's some more packages that are coming, but you're going to have to wait. But you want to pre-order now. So by January the 2nd, let me show you. I made sure I had mine. But let me tell you, y'all want to order now just to make sure, and I see somebody dropping type O+. Y'all want to make sure that you want to have it by January the 2nd. So go ahead on the website. I think Melissa still has the portal open. Order it now. So I think we said we were going to open it up for 2 questions. Is that right, Melissa?
Yeah, that's cool. We can do 2 questions.
All right. So 2 questions pertaining to whatever it is that you've heard. I know Dr. Prince is still here, but we're going to give you the best. I love it. You dropped it in the chat. When are more packages available? Packages are, order them now. They're going to be, order them now. I know you heard 6, but Eric is him and his better half Sharon. I mean, they've been churning it out. I'm talking about it. Yes. Okay, go ahead with questions. So,
hi, Dr. Prince. My name is Anna.
Hey, Anna, how are you?
I'm fine. I have a daughter that has Crohn's and colitis.
Got it.
And I just need to know what's your take on that as far as her going into the phase 1 or phase 2. We'd like to try the phase 3, but I'm not sure she can tolerate the raw vegetables.
How young is she?
She's 55.
She's 55?
Yes.
Yeah, I've dealt with Crohn's before. And in fact, I had a friend who, she was a vegan, and then she decided to go back to eating meat and develop Crohn's disease. And she stopped eating meat and the Crohn's went away. Is she a meat eater?
Yes, we do not do red meat.
Okay, well, anything with eyeballs and parents, she's going to have to let go. And I say this because her success is going to be in direct proportion to what she's willing to sacrifice. There's nothing that can't be reversed. And I say that because I don't want to sugarcoat anything. She's going to have to give up the animals in order to reverse that. And she won't have to worry about the fruits and vegetables affecting her system, because once she goes on a raw juice regimen, it's going to start repairing it. And there are certain things in that regimen, like even the parasite mucus buster, it starts to heal the lining, the intestinal lining of a person's stomach and a person's small intestines and large intestines. So that's not a problem. It's actually easy to turn around, but it's going to depend on what she's willing to give up in order to make that happen.
Sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Love it. Oh man, that's powerful. Good. And I like if it has eyeballs. All right. Love it. Next question. Last question. Go ahead.
Okay, this is Naina. I have a question of Dr. Prince.
Yes.
Okay, Dr. Prince, last week when you were listing various ailments, you kind of touched on scalp issues. Could you elaborate on that a little bit? Well,
scalp issues pretty much in the same category as skin. there are certain foods that you may be intolerant to, which has to do also with your blood type. I had a young lady who was having scalp issues, chafing in her scalp, because she ate a lot of oranges, and she didn't realize that her blood type didn't support the orange consumption. And so when she stopped eating the oranges, then the dandruff and the scalp and the chafing went away, and she had her scalp back the way it was supposed to be. But also, like what Tariq was talking about, his skin, the eczema that was on his skin. When you start cleaning out the inside of your system, then scalp, hair, face, skin, everything starts to heal, because your skin is the largest organ on your body. It is an organ. It's also the largest elimination channel. So anytime there's an issue going on with the skin, that's something going on in your body that your body is trying to eliminate, and it's trying to come through the skin. But if you open up all the other channels, then it doesn't use the skin, and the skin can heal itself. And that's how it works.
Okay, thank you. I'll be in to see you on Thursday.
I look forward to seeing you.
Love it. Wow. So powerful, so amazing. Eric, I just want to say you're very appreciated. We had no clue, not even myself, of who was walking through the door, and you made the connection with Phyllis and Melissa. So we're forever grateful. We're really looking forward to everything that you have to share. You all make sure you come back on Sundays, right? 5:00. And at times that we have Wakanda University at 7:00, because we're going to have Eric here every single Sunday, Lord permits, where he will be dropping nuggets, right? There's a lot to eat. There's a lot to buy, but we're going to chew at this elephant a little at a time. And like I said, join the Facebook group. Make sure you get in there, get the website. These are going to be portal, and the person that invites you. All these avenues are going to be portals where if you want to do better, you have a goal, you want to get to where it is, you want more information, these are going to be portals and tools where you're going to be able to get that information. So with that being said, you all, I think I saw one other question that
one more.
They asked about a contest. I saw that. Maybe Melissa can address that, and then we can shut it down. Melissa, is there a contest associated with the Flat Belly Lifestyle 2.0?
Yes, I actually just sent my response. And basically the response just said, if you're in phase 1, 2, or 3, make sure you keep track of your results. Make sure you submit it on flatbellylifestyle.com, because we will be announcing 3 more winners at the health conference January the 15th, but we cut the deadline off for January the 10th. So if you've been focused, hey, you're in the contest right now. So Ma, you're in the contest. For all the people that are focused, you're currently in progress for winning something special and amazing. So yes.
Wow. And there it is.
Hey, Willie, there was another question on there. Someone asked about coaching.
Okay. What was that particular question? If somebody is looking at being a coach, well, yes, let's go in that direction just for a minute. Yes, let me tell you, minimum requirements or minimum qualification to be a coach. You have to start or have to be on or have to complete, I said all of those, the 21-day cleanse.
Right.
Yes, because you have to be able to coach somebody and guide somebody. You got to know actually what is it like. And I mean, the best transformation, I tell you, when Eric walked in, his look, his disposition, his spirit, everything that he has been sharing with us, well, he's practiced what he preaches. And I think as important as this is and as powerful as it is, I think this is why, especially, some of the leaders have stepped forward. You're hearing testimonies. Did y'all see Phyllis? Who won't listen to Phyllis now? Who won't listen?
Right.
Phyllis don't even, let me tell you, and I'll shut it down because I'm long-winded. But look, Phyllis posts a before and after. Y'all see that before and after that was on the screen? Every single person is sharing that before and after. But why? She's approved of the pudding. She doesn't have to say a word. Her pictures, her disposition, everything reflects at what Eric has been showing us, and she's living proof. And you have a lot more. We have some testimonies. I could go. Mama Dorsey and her whole family came by the dispensary. And I tell you, it's happening even on phase 1. They did phase 1. And I'm telling you, phenomenal results. So yeah, for the next level, yes, you have to go through those 21 days. And I tell you, I'm giving you a hint. I'm giving you a hint. It's starting. It's starting now. So don't wait.
There's 3 more guys. So 3 people took action during this call. So congratulations. Right. I know there's more because some people bought the other pack too, but I'm just telling you guys, some of you think, oh, I have to wait till the next round. You already talked negative to yourself. But if you would have took action, you're already in queue. So everybody that buys now, as long as you're part of the first 100, we already have your pack ready for you right now. So go get it. Don't procrastinate.
Melissa, this is Erica. I just tried ordering, but it's not going through for some reason to the next step. I'm able to add it to the cart, but it's not allowing me to go to the next step.
Okay, 1 second. Let's see something. Well, if you're trying to order it, guys, we're going to check real quick with our IT group. Maybe everybody's having that issue. It looks like it may have stopped with those last 3 people that just bought. 1 second. But there is 3 more at the office. So we'll
and can I say something to Erica? Erica?
Hey, Erica.
How you doing? I'm watching you on. I saw that you couldn't. I was about to say something, but you came on and told them. Once you finish that 3-week process, you have crossed over the rites of passage in order to be a coach. And it's important that you go through the process because 1, we need healed healers to be coaches. We don't want unhealed healers.
That makes sense.
As you're going through the process, remember, once you start this process, you're cleansing every year, sometimes twice a year, which means that you're in perfect health to reflect and become the epitome of health, because that's what everyone in Wakanda is doing. There's never been a group like this that is doing something like this in history that I know of. So for us to become coaches, we're reflecting health on a whole nother level, which means that everyone is going to want to be a part of it and no one wants to be left behind. So yeah, once you finish the cleanse, we will train you. Also, you will be able to reach a point where you will also train and do the bioscan. Because like you said, you want to have, we need thousands of people able to scan, thousands of people able to coach so that we can reach tens of thousands of people. That's how it has to work. That's how we grow.
That's awesome.
Melissa, it's open, guys. So whoever's trying to buy now, because what I did is we opened up a few extra. So that means some of you are going to go on the reserve list. But if you act now, there's 3 of you that are going to get yours now.
I'm trying, Melissa. I'm trying.
Hint. He's giving you a hint.
I'm trying. It won't let me go to the next step.
Oh, start over.
Find another computer.
Start over. Start over. Yeah.
So Melissa, can I let a cat out the bag and then we shut it up? Just a small. Okay. So, all right, you guys, you heard about coaching, right? You heard that you already seeing. So those who are already flowing with us, you already see. I hope you see this system that's developing. I hope you see this massive exposure that's coming. We're not just talking about putting the scans in your hands and all of that not add up to something. Some of you are already brokers, right? And I think you can kind of get this. And by the mere exposure, just exposing, right? You're a distributor, you're a broker, you're a partner, right? Imagine what would happen, hint, hint, if that scan and those coaches were somehow in our compensation plan. Can you get excited about that? How many people can actually see themselves having so many different new conversations by asking the simple question of, do you know your blood type? Right? What's going on? Do you know what's going on inside your body on a cellular level? Right? Can you see it? On that note, I done threw out the hint. You all have a wonderful night. I love you all. Drop it. I mean, just, hey, get to the website. Y'all saw the barcoding. You see the system. Let's get popping. Love you all. Have a great night. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you for everybody that showed up.
Thank you. And Rashawn, give me a call or I'll give you a